right now. Mr. JP Ricciardi, host of the Brushback Podcast. It's a great baseball podcast if you're into the game, and you can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. JP Ricciardi, also a man of baseball. He has worked almost every single job in the game for over 40 years, including, JP, is that 8 seasons you were GM with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, 8 seasons, yep.
8 seasons. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, did you worked with Billy Beane with the A's during the Moneyball era, or were you after that?
No. I played with Billy Beane in the minor leagues.
Oh, okay.
And, I worked with Billy Beane in Oakland, and, I was there for the whole Moneyball thing, and I can tell you the truths and the lies of it, but I've been there.
Oh, then please let me, real quick, before we get into Rafael Devers. So, in the movie, he gets into kind of almost a shoving match with a scout. Is that scout, based on you?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I know the scout that it was referring to, and it never came to it came to more of a shouting match than a shoving match.
Okay.
No, I had my share of shouting matches with Billy, but no, that wasn't me. There's a lot of parts of that movie that are, let's say, Hollywood took some liberties with.
Right. Why let the facts get in the way of a good movie?
Right? Exactly. There you go.
More importantly, above all that, he is the pride of St. Peter Marian High School right here in Worcester. And JP, I want to talk to you about this shocking news from yesterday. I don't think really, unless you saw it coming, I don't know if anybody saw the Red Sox trading Rafael Devers to the Giants yesterday. Did you have an inkling about this?
No, not at all. I think everybody who heard about it was as surprised as you're mentioning right now. I think it came out of the blue, and just one of those deals that I think a lot of people are going to have to get their head around and figure out what they think. I mean, you're going to hear more things as the days go on, but like I said, very surprising trade at a surprising time of the year.
Yes, especially since the Sox are kind of on a tear right now. I mean, they just swept the Yankees. I believe they won their last 5 of 6, I think. I mean, this is the best they've been doing so far this season.
Yeah.
This is probably going to ruin, I don't know if not ruin, but it'll affect that momentum. Would you say that?
Well, I think, when you have trades like this, everybody overreacts. I think, everybody starts thinking worst case scenario, this and that, and they're rightfully so. I mean, you have to be realistic when you're looking at, losing one of the top 10 offensive players in baseball from an organization, and a veteran player on a team that is really a younger team. But when I take a step back and I digest this, the only thing I can come up with is the Red Sox didn't have to dump salary. They got very little in the way of return. They've got some serviceable guys, but nothing big. So when I kind of put 2 and 2 together, for me, it just makes me realize that the Red Sox wanted no part of Rafael Devers going forward. And it's the only way I can explain this because, like I said, they're not a team that's in dire need financially. This wasn't a salary rid of the contract because they committed to the contract for 10 years. And the return back was not enough to make me say, oh, this is a really good trade for them. So I got to believe Rafael, now I don't know this because I'm not there, but I got to believe he's probably worn out his welcome, either with the manager, either with the team, either with ownership, but some way, shape, or form has worn out his welcome. And they just said, we just want to be done with this player. That's the only way I can interpret this at this point.
Yeah, it was definitely no secret that he was not happy when they asked him to step off at third base and be the DH. But it seems like, and he complained, but he took that on, and then they wanted him to go to first, and he outright said, just no, I'm not doing it. So I think we knew he was unhappy, but not to the point where, they trade him off to the Giants. In fact, I think it probably started when they named him as the face of the team. It seemed like he was very reluctant about that, don't you think?
Well, I don't know the player personally, so I don't know what his demeanor is like, and I don't know what his thoughts are about being the leader of a team, or some guys handle it, some guys don't. But I just think all I keep coming back to is the only way I can justify this is the Red Sox have thought long and hard that this is a guy that they don't want to go forward with, because why else would they trade him? Like I said, they're not under any kind of financial crunch. They've committed to the player. It doesn't add up from a baseball perspective, which leads me to believe it's more of personalities. And, there's a couple of big trades that they've gotten rid of Chris Sale and they've gotten rid of this guy under this new regime. And, there's a couple of big boppers that are out of here. And obviously the fans aren't going to be happy, and I don't blame them. I mean, especially like you said, the team was playing really well. But I think, listen, we're all held accountable by the decisions we make when you're running a team. And, down the road, this decision will either come back to haunt them or be the best move they ever made. But I think they're looking at all the young kids they have up there. I think they're thinking of the environment they're trying to create. But with all that being said, in professional sports, you're paid to produce. You're paid to win. No one buys Red Sox tickets to see them come in last place. No one buys Red Sox tickets to not see great players. And you've got rid of a really good player that is helping your team, like you said, play really well at this point. So it's a tough one to get your head around. And like I said, from a baseball perspective, the only way I can keep coming back to it is they just were very unhappy with his attitude.
Yeah. Have you ever run into that, say, as GM of the Jays or any of your front office jobs, run into where, a manager has asked a player to take a position or to do a certain task and they just right out said, no, I'm not going to do it?
Not so much the position change, more so the ability to want to be traded, in the sense of guys having no trades, and your team is going in one direction and he might be from an older regime or something like that, and you're trying to explain to him, we're not going to be good because we're going to rebuild. You have a no trade. Would you like to waive the no trade? I'll try to get you to a club that's got a chance to win, to make it really comfortable for you. So this is a win-win for everybody. And I've had a few players say no, they wouldn't waive their no trade, which is the player's right. But never going to someone and asking them if they would change position or move position and help the club. But, there's a couple of things you have to take into consideration here. This is a veteran player now who's won a World Series, who's pretty comfortable, who signed a big deal. At some point, these players think that they have all the power. And in some ways they do have a lot of power. And when the Red Sox fire a shot across the bow and trade a player like this, sometimes it makes players realize, wow, I didn't have as much power as maybe I thought. So it's not an easy decision. It's I'm sure the Red Sox really struggled with having to make this decision. But in the end, your job is to do what's best for the club. And I think they think going forward, this is the best move for the club. Now, once again, I'm not in there making those decisions with them, but I'm trying to put my GM and front office hat of 25 years on and think of all the things that go on. And, one thing the fans never see is the personalities and how the personalities clash and how they're, how they get along. And I'm not in that clubhouse, so I don't know. But my reaction to your first question is still the same. I think that there's something about Devers that they didn't feel comfortable going forward with.
All right. Well, JP, I appreciate your insights on this. It was shocking baseball news. And then they're going to face him on this weekend. I guess they're going to be in San Francisco this weekend. That should be interesting.
Crazy.
I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I know. And you have to put this up there with, this has to go up there with the Nomar trade. This has to go up there, with the Chris Sale trade, with the Mookie Betts trade. I mean, there's been some big trades over the last few years that have made everybody sit back and say, wow. So it's not, it's not a region that hasn't had this before, but I would definitely put it for shock value up there with probably Mookie and Nomar.
Yeah, definitely. All right, JP Ricciardi, he is the host of the Brushback Podcast. You can hear it wherever you get wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, you can hear JP on Nesson. You're still doing the Woo Sox games for Nesson too, right?
Yeah, and I've been doing some stuff in Boston for the main Nesson group with
nice.
Tom Caron. And, yeah, so, you see my mug everywhere.
Nice. All right. JP Ricciardi, thank you for your time and your insights this morning. We appreciate it.
All right, Mike, you take care.